Hi Bodies, welcome to Mass Games. My name is Simon and today I'm bringing you how to set up, play and review the game 9 Men's Morris. It did weigh 666 grams actually, now 669. So yes, a strategic game for two players, a historic strategic game for two players. This game is from the minus 1400s, so basically minus 1400 BC, or 1400 BC in fact. And as you can see, I have zoomed in a little bit on this table because I'm filming a slightly different surface and I want to make sure that we're not being distracted by things off to the side. So as you can see, 9 Men's Morris is the name of the game. It's played a lot. It kind of hit its popularity in around the 15th century by monks. And the aim of the game is quite simple. Your goal is to be the first with 3 stones in a row. Simple, but not easy. Now, they're called stones. They are also called men. You can also call them markers. A number of names to them, and I'll talk to you about that in due course. It's a combinatorial game. So like chess, every piece is on the game. There's no hidden cards, something else that comes up later. So you have the full amount of knowledge available to you at all times. Now, this side bit is where I'm just going to keep these spare pieces for the time being. And the first part of the game is just placing these pieces either onto corners or intersections. Now, things can be surrounded as well, and I'll come on to that as well. You can play this game on Board Game Arena, where this video will be available. So if you want to ever play it online, you can play it there amongst many other locations. And as you can see, this is also being filmed on Easter Sunday. Now, 9 Men's Morris, or Morris Men, were found a lot during May Day. So I could have filmed this around May Day, but coming into spring, makes sense to kind of have this available for you on Easter Sunday. So like I said, it's a very old game and it's been very popular, particularly around 500 years ago, where monks in churches as well as in village greens were played throughout England. So any age can play it, and remember it's just for 2 players, and you have 9 of these black pieces or men or stones, and again 9 which are white. And unfortunately this is the time where games refer to he as opposed to they or she. But anyway, there are 3 distinct stages, as I mentioned. Firstly, you're going to take these pieces one by one and place them out onto different things. Apologies if, as I'm doing this, I accidentally goof and make a mistake. Just let me know. It wasn't intentional as ever. And yeah, you can chuck something in the comments. And if you chuck something in the comments, I'll reply very quickly. Additionally, if you check out the description, I might have some more updates as to what I'm doing. Finally, hit that like button to show me that you're enjoying the content, and also subscribe to be notified of new stuff coming out as well by hitting that notification bell. And lastly, hit that like button to show me again that you're enjoying this content and it's making sense. So aside from that, no 2 points can ever occupy the same point at the same games in the games. You can't go here and then go here at the same time. That never occurs. That basically means if I am here, I can't move into that location. It's always blocked. And yeah, the way the capture works, I'll come on to in due course. So a player can put basically 3 pieces on the board, and if you can make them into a line, so imagine that goes there, then what happens is you can take another piece off the board. So imagine that piece is over here, let's say like this, and I go here, this piece comes off the board. Now, as I did mention, not everything is in shot, and that is because of the edge of the table. Now, I don't know if I can zoom out a little bit, but as you can see, it's pretty boring rest of the table, unfortunately, because Fields of Arla, which is a game that's getting lots of views on the channel, is set up on another table. I was very keen to get this released as we had quite a streak of games being uploaded on a daily basis. So hopefully now you can see everything. So I do apologise for the edge of that table. And as I just said, that is an example of how you can capture. So that is, as I said, of one of the 3 stages. The first one is you're just laying it out. So you're thinking where you want to lay stuff, maybe thinking about where you want to get stuff in position. As you can see, this is all kind of blocked up at the minute. Stage 2 is around, yeah, taking one of those pieces. So if I want to take, yeah, we've done something like that, and I had a taken piece. But suddenly we could do, I don't know, white might move and do something like this, lining up itself to maybe bring like this across and then that across in due time. So that is possible, and then obviously white is going to start getting back. I think I left that piece where it was. Maybe I didn't. So you're trying to juggle things around a little bit and keeping an eye on it. Now, I'm going to move on to stage 3 in a moment, but I just want to give you a bit more information about stage 2. So in this stage, as I said, you're taking a turn to move one of your pieces from one point of intersection on the board basically to the next. So moving from here to here. So that can also be classed as an intersection, just keep it easier to explain. So you can go across there. And I said, as before, if a player can move 3 other pieces in the board in a row, then you'll take one of those pieces off the board. However, they cannot take an opponent's piece that is in line of 3 unless no other pieces are to take. So imagine white, had done this in due course. And let's move the game on a bit now. And now that has taken a piece off. And now black happens to be, I don't know, let's say this piece is down here, and this was here, and then somehow in due time that gets here. What black cannot do is it cannot use those 3 pieces, which are going to just about in shot. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. What it can't do is then do that and then actually take one of these 3 pieces here, because it's locked. The only time you can do that is when there are no other free individual, let's call them stones. So you can't actually take any of these pieces unless they are loose. Otherwise, if they're in a line, they are protected unless they are all in lines, and then you can start breaking it up. The downside is if you do this, in this case, so that's maybe gone, the next turn white does this and it takes black back again. What you might want to do, think about a bit of strategy, is you could just go hop back and forth, and if you had something like this set up, then white could do this to take off a black piece, and then it could go here, take off a black piece, and go back and forth. So that's something about strategy. But I'm going to move on to stage 3 in a moment. So the second stage of the game ends when one of the players has only 3 pieces left. Okay, that's end of stage 2, and we're to the final stage, which is stage 3, and that is when one of the players has only 3 pieces left. This player then is allowed to move a piece from one point to any other point of the board. So if I'm over here, let's say I've only got 3 pieces left, I could come over here for whatever reason. The reason for that is, of course, you could still get your 3 lines going. So let's just remove some pieces, and let's bring black down. It started, so let's just say it's struggled, and let's say it's down to that. I'm going to take that one off as well. And just because of where we're zoomed into, let's just do that. Okay, and now everything else is in shot. You can see all these pieces down the bottom here. And so they don't have to move along the lines anymore, and the other player, though, still does have to. So this still has to do this. Black can now just fly around and stuff. Both places, remember, are still trying to get their pieces to form a line of 3. And if both players still only have 3 pieces left, so now at this point they only now have 3 pieces each left, they're both allowed to move by jumping from one point to another, just as it would be in this case for black. And again, they don't have to move along the lines. Now, as soon as one player is left with only 2 pieces, he or she has lost. So in this case, this does this, and it takes off, let's say that piece. White can still move here, and in this case then black would lose because it's down to 2 pieces. So that is how to play. That's the setup, play and review for the game 9 Men's Morris. As you can see, I'm on a different table and again a wobbly kind of camera mount, and hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can see what's going on. My present rating for this is a 6. I like the fluidity of moving back and forth. I like the way that you're trying to corral your pieces. That's a kind of strategic element of trying to get your pieces to work collectively to try and make some space, to try and get into a gap. And the fact that with 9 pieces each, obviously it makes sense for 9 Men's Morris, but you're trying to ultimately keep an eye out on where you can see opportunities to get in a gap, especially because that's the same kind of gap that your opponent might well be looking for. So this is just one, production version of it. This is, I think, Green Board Games, the Green Board Game Company. There are many out there, and again, if you're looking for quite a traditional game, it might be something of interest for you to check out. So that's been 9 Men's Morris. Thanks very much. Bye for now.